spanning the entire globe, involving hundreds of different cultures, explaining the same phenomenon by different names.
The nature of the footprints, namely their remarkable consistency, their biomechanical appropriateness, those aspects that are extremely compelling.
Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the Bigfoot Influencers.
Glad to see that you're all here. So you know who I am. I'm Dana.
And I'm Tim. And I'm Tim.
Tim Halloran and Dana Halloran. No, we're not brother and sister.
No, we're not.
Nope. He's my husband.
So how are you guys doing tonight?
We're having a good time.
We are.
And we are having like a different night here on our podcast because our guests are two of our best art Bigfoot friends ever, Snuffy and Cheryl. And they're just like really cool people. We've connected well with them. They are amazing artists. You'll come to know all the things that both Cheryl and Snuffy do. And, they're also into the Bigfoot world. Yeah, and they 100%. Have, I've heard a dog man experience, which we'll definitely, try to get them to talk about.
Yeah, definitely.
So this is going to be like, tonight is going to be hanging out with like Tim and Dana and Cheryl and Snuffy, just like the four of us friends chilling and hanging and talking about Bigfoot.
Right. And they are influencers because, you guys probably know who they are. They probably don't need an introduction, but
yeah.
They do a lot of amazing things. And, on a somber note, before we have fun, just want to remember Peter Byrne. He moved on from this world, and then we were recording with Henry Franzoni last week, and we were talking about Peter, and I think it was the same day that we were recording with Henry. So, hopefully his transition was peaceful. So all prayers go out to his loved ones. And on that note, we're going to bring Snuffy and Cheryl in. They're good friends of ours, and we're just excited to have that. And let's bring them in.
Yeah, let's bring them in. Hey, guys.
How y'all doing?
I think you have them on mute.
Oh, I've got you guys on mute. That's me, because I didn't know what you guys were going to say.
Excuse me. Are you like fully capable of running the show?
Yeah, I think I can do it. There we go. Now we can hear you.
Bravo.
Yeah, I made it. So.
Right here.
There you go. How you guys doing?
Hey guys, good. We're doing good.
Can you hear them or?
We can hear.
Okay, all right. So I love how we have like Tim and Dana, and then there's Cheryl and Snuffy with like a little S. Do you see that?
Oh, that's all my fault. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Maybe that was on purpose, girl.
It was on purpose, I swear.
Oh, poor Snuffy. We're just messing with you, honey.
I know. I always get the short end of the S.
We've been looking forward to this. You guys have just been become good friends, and we just love you guys. And this is going to be a fun episode. We're going to hear people are going to learn a lot about you, though. So,
Yep.
Keep it PG-13, Snuffy.
Keep it.
I got you. Most of you.
So
let's start with
let's start with some questions for you. So why don't you tell everybody how you met?
We met in 5th grade. I can't remember if I walked into the classroom or if he walked into the classroom, but it was the first day of school, and I was like, oh.
Were you like, bow, shika, wow, wow, when he was walking in the door?
I was like, what, 10 years old? I was like, oh, my soulmate. I know it. He's my soulmate.
That's crazy, girl.
Wow. So then how did it happen after that? How did it morph into?
He goofed around here and there, picked on me, and all that stuff. And then in 10th grade, we got together for a couple weeks, and then he dumped me. And then senior year, I ended up being with someone else, got pregnant, had baby, got married, had babies, moved away, was gone for 20 some years, and then came back.
Found me on Facebook.
Found him on Facebook.
Oh,
That's so cool.
right. That is cool. Because you were at the time, so you guys both moved around a little bit, right?
Yes. I was gone from like 20 years old to 42 years old. I moved back when I was 42. Yeah, back to here, Ridgeway.
So that had to be just like a year ago.
13 years ago.
2010.
Time
Wow,
flies.
it does.
13 years. Wow.
Because you guys have such a cool background there. I love like this, like I'm for our listeners, we're actually looking at Cheryl and Snuffy, and they have like this cool like brick fireplace and like, what is that, like a buck skull up there?
No, that's a big cow skull.
A cow skull. Okay.
Yeah, with the big horns.
And so why don't you tell everybody what area you guys live in, what cool area you live in?
We're near the Allegheny National Forests, which is 500,000 acres of cryptid creatures crawling all over the place.
Southern tip of the Allegheny National Forest.
Wow. That's
Well, I think it's important too that we also talk about your art, obviously, because you guys are both artists, full-time artists. So Snuffy, why don't you tell everybody what you do mainly with your art?
So I've been a chainsaw sculptor for 15 years or so, maybe a little bit longer. I've been carving Bigfoots and other cryptids for about 10 years now. I'm in 5 to 7 Bigfoot museums. I know you guys have been to a few of those where you've seen some of my sculptures in those museums. Lauren Coleman's Cryptozoology Museum. We've got Expedition Bigfoots down in Georgia. We got, Cliff up in Boring, Oregon.
And Salt Fork State Park in the lodge.
Salt Fork State Park.
Not a museum, but a historic
No,
place.
that's You're all over the place, Snuffy.
I have them in California. I actually carved one in England that I left there. I don't know what happened to that, but.
Oh, wow. That's
well,
pretty
we
cool.
have some of your stuff here in our house too, and we're all the way over here in Delaware. So you're like in the 4 corners of the world.
Oh, yeah.
So outside of, and I've got some images we're going to pull up later of some of your art, both of you guys. How'd you get into chainsaw carving? And what's involved in it?
We have the largest chainsaw festival in the world in our hometown of Ridgeway. And at one point we had up to like 250 carvers from like Australia, Japan, Germany, South America. So like if you were a chainsaw carver, this is a mecca of Ridgeway to come. And so I was a musician at the time and just hanging out with these artists, and I just got sucked in. It was beautiful.
Awesome. That's great. Well, let's jump to Cheryl.
Yeah.
So Cheryl, your turn. So let's talk about what you do. And you're multi-talented.
So I'm actually wearing a few of your pieces tonight. So this is like I don't know if you make these anymore, but every time I wear these, people are like, I want one. You made this beautiful necklace, and it's like a patty, turn move thingy in the shape of the Sasquatch, and it's just beautiful. And then I have this one that I just got from you. I love this one. And then the one that I've had for a long time.
Yes.
And then I have other stuff too.
Yeah, you got a hat.
Oh my gosh. The hat, that's my signature hat, girl.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's funny because it was up there in price, girl. But it was gorgeous and beautiful. And I have gotten my money's worth because I've had that thing for 3 years. I wear it everywhere. I love it. People are like, oh my God, I want your hat, blah, blah, blah. So Cheryl's super talented as well.
So what do you do, Cheryl? Give the audience
what doesn't she do?
I know. Well, I'm just trying to say,
go, Cheryl.
Go.
I do not weld. I'm not a welder.
Okay.
Well, she doesn't do chainsaw carvings.
Oh, yes, she does.
Not with the chainsaw.
Yes, she does.
Do you?
I'm a chainsaw carver. I've been.
I see. You gotta follow her, honey. Yes, she is making stuff all the time. So, but what is because she does so much. So just give everybody an idea of all the stuff that you do.
I make jewelry. I love silversmithing. So I start with the wire and the base plate and the bezel, and I put them all together. Put the stone in after I solder everything together. That's one of my favorite things. I make all kinds of beaded bracelets and different things, wire wrapping, stained glass, knitting, needle felting, t-shirt.
Is that what those little mushrooms were? Those little, yeah, those are super cool.
Yep.
Don't forget the ointments and creams.
Oh yeah, don't forget.
Oh
that.
yes, my salves. I have amazing salves too. That the healing salve, the wound salve, and tea berry lime, which is good for arthritis, and it's anti-inflammatory. Same with the arnica. That's an anti-inflammatory. It's good for bruises. I make.
Is that stuff too that you guys growing all of those herbs on your property?
Yes, almost all
A
of
lot
them.
of them, yes.
Yeah, almost all of them are grown on our property.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And
Yeah,
I know you guys have like a cool garden and yard. I've seen pictures here and there on Facebook, and yeah, you guys, I mean, just where you are, you're like are you in the mountains or like the hills or?
It's a hill. We're in a
Yeah,
valley.
it's a hilly place, and that's kind of how your garden is, which is super cool.
We have 50 raised bed gardens I made with rocks and boulders that were in the property, and just pushed them around for 10 years until I got them. It's like
whenever you got like some aggression, you had to be like, and just start pushing rocks around.
Yeah, I've hurt myself moving rocks, but I survived.
That is super cool.
So I'm gonna pull some photos up just while we're talking about it, and then we're gonna get into some other things too. So this is some of Cheryl's work, which is absolutely gorgeous and amazing.
Yeah, it is.
And then, if you guys want to jump in and talk about any of these things as we're going, but this is some of Cheryl's amazing work.
I make earrings, and for my earrings, it's always sterling silver that I use, and then some different things that hang from the sterling silver. There's one of my stained glass pieces. There's needle felting way in the back. Oh, that right here in the middle is needle felted alien and Bigfoot too, and little Yoda.
I see Yoda. Yeah.
Yeah,
What are those little things in the background that like look like little ghosts?
Little ghosts. Yeah, those are just little chainsaw carved ghosts. They're
just
those
are so cute.
I turn my scraps into little ghosts. $5, $10.
Right.
Those are adorable.
It could buy.
What else we have here?
Yeah. Salve.
Yep.
Which I don't know much about. Well, I mean, I do, but I don't. What?
Oh, it's amazing.
Here's some more amazing things.
Stained glass. So so we're looking at like a bunch of cute little, patty walk, stained glass stuff, little footprints. Super, super cute.
And there's a couple pieces of glass fusion there too that I did with little Sasquatches in them.
Yeah.
My alien heads way up in the back corner there, those sold out at the Kecksburg UFO conference.
Oh, cool.
Alien heads and a couple UFOs too, and I sold those out quickly. Oh, there's right there by the Bigfoots too, I see.
So tell us, what kind of conferences or how many conferences do you guys go to, and what type are they?
We do, we've done Mothman, we've done, the Ohio Bigfoot Conference, of course, and a lot of, smaller Bigfoot conferences. And other things we do is just chainsaw carving events. And then we just said, the Kecksburg event, which is UFO conference, where a UFO crashed in Pennsylvania here in '65, and we've been doing that for about 8 years. It's a really fun event.
Cool.
How far do you guys go? How far will you travel?
I mean, we went to Lauren's event up in Maine once, his first event he had up there. I've traveled to Germany for, chainsaw carving events in England and Canada. But mostly we're doing cryptic events right around the, Ohio, New York, PA kind of thing right now. We're looking to expand. Everybody keeps asking us to go further, but our old box truck isn't just something we want to take down to Kentucky or, Texas Bigfoot Conference just yet. So we're looking for a toy haul and motorhome right now to switch up our ride and, make it more convenient and easier for us to travel farther away.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, because people don't realize that you guys, I mean, some vendors, even us when we set up, it's just a few boxes or 5 or 10 boxes, but you're hauling, 8-foot tall chainsaw carvings and such.
Right.
And you need a lot of space. So I guess that could be a little challenging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole box truck is full of wooden carvings and, totes full of stuff. And, it's a lot of stuff for us to move and haul around. And, a lot of times we have to sleep in the box truck because, there's no lodging or we can't afford lodging or, until we sell some stuff.
Yeah, well, so I love the idea of like you guys getting a camper then, because then you could be like,
Mhm.
like, is that what they call it when you're driving it? It's still called a camper?
RV. Yeah.
Oh,
Motorhome.
a motorhome,
Yeah.
because it's, and that the nice thing about motorhome too is you don't have to like pack, what I
Everything-
mean? Like you pretty much
You're
have
already
everything in
ready to
there.
roll with. You don't forget anything because it's already in there.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
The toy hauler ones are ones that, the back opens up and you can put all your stuff in the back part of it. And then you have your whole camper part in the front.
That's
wow,
really
yeah.
cool. That would be perfect
Yeah.
for you guys.
Right.
If you got
So
2
we do have
bedrooms, then
our-
we're in.
Sell the RV and the box truck, and then we're looking for this unicorn of a camper right now.
Well,
It's hard to-
you keep on putting it out there to the universe. It'll
Yeah.
come back
Yeah.
to you.
Somebody on your show will have one that wants to get rid of
We
it.
manifest it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I want to show here's some more Cheryl's amazing work for the audience who's listening. She'll explain it.
Those rings there are all copper rings, so they're only like $10. But Snuffy just built his workshop and his showroom, and that all the wire, like from the electric, that's all copper from the electric that was left over, and I made some rings out of them.
Wow. Good for you. Also repurposing.
That's
Yeah,
super cool.
yeah. We try to repurpose as much as we can. Recycle,
Yeah,
reduce, reuse, recycle.
exactly, girl.
Mm-hmm.
And on some of Snuffy's work here, most of the folks will recognize this piece on the left. It's I don't think that's a photo I took, but I've taken
Yeah.
a few up there. That's at Lauren Coleman's International Cryptozoology Museum in Portland, Maine. Here's another piece. How long, Snuffy? How long would it take you to do something like this?
I could do a big one in about 3 or 4 days.
And when you say big one, like how tall are they?
Over 8 feet.
And how much do they weigh?
When the log is fresher, they could be 800 pounds, but after
Wow.
drying or longer, you can get down to like 300 pounds, or you can just move it around on a dolly.
Okay.
So do you have obviously you can see for the audience, you if you travel around and you can tell it's one of Snuffy's pieces, like most artists, they have their signature features. Do you have, what inspires you when you create these? Do you have something in mind when you're doing it? Obviously you're not going off an image because we don't have any real photographs of Bigfoot that we know of. I mean, there's some out there, but we can't prove that they're real or not. But what inspires you to make the designs?
I look at a lot of drawings that were done, of people's sightings and things like that, head shapes and different things like that. Sometimes, people say there's hair the whole way on down to their eyes. Other times they have foreheads, like the one in the picture with Bob. The other one, the large one with me, doesn't have any, forehead showing and skin showing. So I try to mix it up every once in a while. I also throw in, a white Bigfoot, or, everybody says the Yetis aren't white, but I don't, everybody that doesn't know anything says they are.
Well, there's reports of white Bigfoot too, and
that
gray
usually,
ones.
I think it comes from old, they suspect they're older.
Yeah,
in
that's what I
age.
would say. Mhm.
Yeah.
And not to limit yourself to carving Bigfoots. There's a lot of other things that you do here.
Oh my gosh.
So from
Totally cool stuff.
some anything wood related.
Mhm.
Now the smaller pieces, obviously, you're not using a chainsaw. I mean, what's the process of doing smaller pieces?
Everything on that table that I carved with a chainsaw too.
Wow, isn't that crazy?
Whoa.
I use a little Dremel to do like the face details and stuff like that, but all that you see there on that table is made with a chainsaw.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
And here's a couple more pieces of Snuffies.
Yeah.
So the guitar table is one of my signature pieces there. I've been making those for about 7 years. You know, a few famous musicians have the guitar tables now. They make great gifts for people that have too many guitars already. I don't know. This one might have went to my brother. I'm not sure. And this
So, hey, Snuffy, can you tell everybody what that beautiful turquoise
so in
thing
that
is?
one, that's like an old hollow body guitar style. And so we filled the F holes in to make them stand out with a crushed up turquoise mixed with resin. And then I can sand that flat.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Over top of that. Thank you. And then we have a nice cone head skull thing here.
Yeah, I know you guys would think I'm crazy, but I just started watching Ancient Aliens. And I'm now on episode 2 where they're explaining like the people who used to wrap their heads to make cones to possibly out of observation from seeing that type of head on an alien. But it's a pretty good show. I'm like, you know, because we've always been like Bigfoot people. We're watching Bigfoot stuff. So now I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna watch some alien stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever do anything together as far as art goes? You know, do you collaborate?
We've collaborated on a couple pieces, sure. We worked on a giant sign together for Blue Knob ski resort. And it was like a big plank that we carved. It was over 8 feet long and probably 3 feet wide or something. And we carved it, burned it, painted it, and did the whole works together.
Wow.
Super cool.
So Cheryl, well, I mean, you guys been traveling for a while. Is there a memorable, besides hanging out with us, is there a memorable event, conference?
Nothing is that. But.
I know. It's tough to top that, but is there one that stands out where you like met someone cool or something crazy happened? Can you tell us the story?
Lots of great, wonderful times. I really I did not talk to her very much at all, but Snuffy did this year. We met Renee for the first time. And that was a picture of us at the beginning with Renee, and she's really cool. I really enjoyed Ohio Bigfoot Conference this year, meeting her. The Ohio Bigfoot conferences when we first started going, and we'd have the balls of fury. When the balls would come like midnight, they'd be throwing balls down. Super balls. They'd come down through the top, the third floor, and they'd come down on top of us, and everybody'd be like, ah!
As we're playing guitars and relaxing, and then start super balls at us from 3 floors up.
Oh, that's beautiful.
But I love doing like the shows with Bob Gimlin, so we did a couple with him. And then Cliff is one of my favorites. I really love Cliff. He's such a great guy. And also Dr. Jeff, and he's coming to Ohio.
He's coming back to Ohio.
Talking to Jeff.
Yeah, they're cool. And Renee's such a doll. We've
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She stayed in the cabin next door to us this past year, and
we
made her breakfast, and
we had a good time.
We did have a good time.
And of course I love Bobo too. Can't forget Bobo.
Oh yeah.
Bobo's awesome.
Yeah, I wish he'd hopefully at some point he'll be able to travel.
We haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, I know.
Hopefully we will.
He's limited on. He's decided not to travel much. He was staying home base more on the West Coast, but hey, you never know. You might get him back to Ohio at some time soon. Yeah. So how about you, Snuffy?
Of
course, I ask him right when he's taking a drink.
Yeah, we had so many memorable events and meeting people like Bobcat Goldthwait and just hanging out with Bob Gimlin and going out to dinner with Bob and Cliff and Bobo, and we did events up in Massachusetts with Jonathan and the Squatchachusetts gang and with Bobo, and we just had a lot. We've been very fortunate over the years to get to hang out with the big shots in the Bigfoot, and a lot of the great explorers also,
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. It's such a fun thing. And just like us meet you guys. You guys are famous, and we're friends with you, so it's such an honor. Yeah.
I call myself semi-locally famous, but I'm also internationally famous also.
So Snuffy was kind of busting my chops when we saw him in Ohio
No.
because
I mean, we didn't get to hang out as well as we should have.
Yeah.
What
no,
happened?
I don't know, but
Well, 'cause you're the hostess and mostest, and you're trying to take care of everybody else, and
I know,
Yeah.
but I just want to have some Cheryl and Snuffy time.
We need to come to visit you at your house. We need to
Yeah.
come
At the beach.
at the beach.
I'll make you guys shrimp, Snuffy.
oh yeah, well then be shrimp.
yeah, there will be shrimp.
I'm making
I'll bring
seafood all the
garlic.
time.
Hey, there's one other time that an event that I really enjoyed was one year at Kecksburg. It was probably 4 years ago. This guy and this alien showed up, and we were just like, "Oh, this is so cool!" And was it Battlestar Galactica? Do you remember the TV show?
I remember.
It was
the show.
Yeah, I remember.
I think it was Battlestar Galactica, and she was from that. Like, she wasn't the actor, but this guy was the makeup artist, and he made her up exactly like that character.
Wow.
Trevor, like Snuffy had a nude without a head, and we have a picture of her behind the nude with her top of the
That's
neck
funny.
and the rest
And a
of
regular picture of her.
yeah.
That's
That-
funny.
My favorite events too, memorable events. That was really cool. Yeah,
Wow.
Kecksburg. Everyone should go to the Kecksburg UFO Festival.
It's a small event, but it's a really cool event.
And how far away is it from you guys?
It's about 2.5 hours
2.5
south of us. It's down near
South.
Falling Waters and Ohio Pile, and
So it'd be closer to
A little closer.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Yeah, it's probably like what 2.5, 3.5 hours from you guys probably.
maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
that would be
more.
really cool.
So let's talk about some things that you guys may have seen out there. I mean, you guys are out in the mountains and the woods, and have
Right.
you guys had any
Leah, let's hear about your
any experiences
experiences
you've got
with
running
any
into-
kind of cryptid.
So when I first moved out here in the woods, it was 1995, and I had a couple experiences that may or may not have happened in my mind. But I had this creature that I saw in the trees in my neighbor's yard, and I called it Monkey Boy. And it was just something that went really fast through trees, and I didn't know, I didn't really get a good look at it, but it was something just moving through the trees. It wasn't very big, and I was just joke around calling it Monkey Boy. It wasn't, giant, any kind of like baby Bigfoot or anything, but that was one thing. And then I saw a similar thing.
Well, let's hold off.
Yeah,
I'm going to dig into
Okay,
this.
go ahead.
I would like to talk
Yeah.
about Monkey Boy.
So, but at the time, you weren't. Was Bigfoot even a thing for you?
No. I mean, but after I got into it, these girls from high school came up and said that I saw a Bigfoot when I was like 10 or something in the park up by these girls' house. And so I honestly don't remember saying that back in the day. I was probably just, trying to get some chicks or something.
Oh my God.
But was that up in the same area where you are now?
Yeah. I only live 15 minutes from where I grew up.
Oh, that's so cool. That's
Gotcha.
so cool.
So Monkey Boy was.
How long was Monkey Boy around?
Was it just?
So
one
I
time
only
you
saw
it?
that one.
Oh, you saw him one time, and how old were you?
I would have been, I don't know, like 40 or no, 30 35 something.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
So what did you think after that?
Now
You just didn't.
55 now.
You just thought it was a funny thing, and then kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think anything of it. And then, but then a similar thing ran across the road in front of me as I was coming home from visiting some friends in Baltimore. And I was, after I drove 4 hours home, and it was a little late, and I was like, and there was just something else just ran in front of me. And like I said, I didn't get a good look at it. It was something.
But was it like Monkey Boy? Like, was it running on fours or running
the one
on
in
two?
the tree? It was the one I called Monkey Boy. Then I saw the one that ran across the road in front of me. I think it was on two, or skipping with maybe his front paws or whatever.
Right. What are you doing, baby?
I didn't mean to do that.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay.
I'm still learning. I put some new screens up here just so we can
Nice.
we could get different angles, and that one took you guys out. Sorry.
That's all right.
So Cheryl, you want to ask her
About
anything?
yeah. What about how do you have an experience to share, Cheryl?
You know, I I believed in all this stuff since I was a little kid. Like in middle school, I did reports on Bigfoot and Loch Ness Monster and everything, but I never saw anything. I saw like UFOs and stuff up in the sky.
You did.
Not actually UFOs, saw lights, and I saw stuff blow up and things like that, but never an actual like UFO. But I know
Okay.
it was, you know. So then, probably 2015, we're driving to our fun hangout spot through the woods. It takes us, it's like 30 miles away from here through the woods. And we're driving. We have a friend, Snuffy and the friend are up front, and I'm in the back knitting. And they're like, Cheryl, do you see this thing? And I look and I'm like, what is that? And crossing the road in front of us is what most people call a dog man, but on four legs. To me, it seemed like, you know, like a half monkey, half dog type thing. It was large. It was very big.
So, like, how large was it?
It was like,
It was about 3 foot on the back, at least, maybe taller on the back. It looked, you know, like Great Danish size.
very,
Had a big long tail that came up and curled, and then a big muzzle that came to a point. It was really long snout on it.
So all three of you saw it.
yeah.
Yep. It was a very long occurrence. It was like 30 feet of clearing, 30 feet of road, 30 more feet of clearing. And it just walked in front of us, side profile the whole time as we were coming down a long straight stretch towards it. And so we got a good, 30 seconds or longer, just side profile.
It's during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
it was during the day.
broad daylight.
2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And
Probably like it had like a brindle-ish coat, brown and blackish coat. Not real longish hair, not super short, I guess, either. But,
So,
It
from
walked-
head to tail, or from nose to tail, how long would you say it was?
oh, it was probably a good 7 or 8 feet. I mean, if the tail was stretched out, the tail itself was 3 feet long. So
Okay, wow.
came up.
8 or
and
10
curled.
feet long, I suppose, from the
Wow.
tail.
And it was walking
very
on 2
Four.
legs? 4. Okay.
On 4
It was on
legs.
4 legs.
And the tail was very monkey-like, and its gait was very monkey-like, but the rest was very dog-like.
Okay, wow.
Did you guys
Yeah.
stop and try to track it down, or what'd you do?
But we weren't really scared because it didn't pay any attention to us. It just walked, it didn't turn and look one time.
So, how, I mean, this has to be an incredible thing happening to you guys.
It didn't really phase us because it didn't, I don't know, like it didn't look at us. If it would have looked at us, we probably shit our pants, but it just it didn't pay any attention to us and just did, mind its own business.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
but I
like,
mean, like, you guys, like, what are you guys thinking?
like it's close to, where we live, like what, 15, 20 miles from where
Yep.
we live. And, there's no reports of missing people, there's nothing, it hasn't killed anyone. So, it didn't really scare it, not afraid of it. Like, and the thing too, it's like after that happened, you would think I'd be afraid to be outside, but it made me less scared. I don't know why.
Okay, now I'm just trying to imagine what was going through your mind the moment you're seeing this.
Yeah, we
Like,
were all like,
What is your brain doing? Is it like
what?
trying to figure out what it is?
yeah, we were
Yeah,
trying
we
to
had
figure
no
out
clue what it was.
is.
We'd never heard of a dog man until we went back to the conference next year and told everybody what we saw. And they're like, oh, that's dog man. I'm like, what's dog man?
Yeah, and
Wow.
like our friend and I both had, cell phones. We didn't even think for a second to pick up the cell phone and take a picture.
Hmm.
We
That's
didn't
pretty
even
important, though.
know,
Yeah, I wish
because we were just too busy thinking of like, what is that? Are we really seeing this? What
I
is
think that happens to most people,
Mhm.
no matter what
Yeah.
they see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, because we weren't looking for her. We didn't even think knew this existed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
your brain's still processing. You just see this thing, and the last thing you're thinking of is grabbing your camera and
Right.
your phone and pulling it out.
I've wanted to, see a Bigfoot my whole life, and then, this thing that doesn't exist walks in front of me. It's like, wait, it kind of changed my whole world in that way, where I will not tell anyone that when they tell me a story of something that they saw, I don't care if it's a fairy or what it is, I will not believe them. I'll just like I'll agree with them. I'll be like, that's awesome, that's cool.
Because
they really
you had your experience, because people
I didn't.
Were people like kind of thinking you guys were crazy when you said what you saw?
Oh yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
We were going to the distillery,
Okay.
so we had a few extra cocktails. Luckily, Cheryl doesn't drink it. I was home.
Yeah, so that's important. At least one of you wasn't drinking.
Right.
Yeah.
And we already know, obviously, that Cheryl doesn't. So did you like look into any local reports of anyone else seeing it in the area?
We did have a report from a young girl that said that she saw one up on her shed in Kane, which is where we were going to the distillery at. So it's, just another 10, 15 miles from where we saw it.
Wow.
I know. I mean, that's crazy in a neighborhood to see, seeing that thing.
Yeah, she saw it jump up on the shed and run across the yard.
Yeah, and it rules
And
out
the fact that all three of you saw it.
right
Sorry.
during
did
the
I scare
day.
you?
Yeah, that's
He
okay.
like jumped.
Yeah.
Sorry. He's a little sensitive.
I forgot what I was going to say now.
That's because does my beauty
Yes, it does.
erase your mind?
Yeah.
We were talking about Dogman.
And what they saw during the day, and
Right.
did local reports. Yeah, we'll get back to it. I'll come back to what I was going to ask you next. So what else? So you guys, but where you live, I mean, other things happen. I mean, do you guys get out and hike? Do you look for things out in the woods? What else do you do?
We get out and hike. We're really right in the woods. You can walk out the back door with a fishing pole or a gun or a pair of binoculars and our camera, and we do it all. Me and a friend did have something yelling at us, roaring at us. I would, if I was guessing it was anything, I would say that would be a Bigfoot.
Wow.
It was just so loud. It was like, just yelling really.
That was a really good roar.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It was way louder and way scarier than that.
Right, because you guys have bears there too, correct?
We just had a bear in the yard.
I just saw the bear.
Oh,
they had,
wait.
Yeah.
It's on Facebook.
I saw your bear. Your bear came in to hang out with you.
I had a bear steal my beehive. I had a bear rip the front of my trailer down when I first moved here. My little trailer. I had a turkey on the rotisserie. I went into town and I came back. Side of the trailer was ripped off.
Oh my
God. So going back to the roar though, Snuffy, was it like most people call it guttural, where you like feel your inside shake?
Guttural roll, definitely. So I was walking with a friend of mine who's 6'5" and looks like a Sasquatch, and even Sasquatch. But when I asked him, what was that? You lived out here all your life. Can you tell me what that was? And he wouldn't say it was a Sasquatch. He's going to be a denier all his life, I guess, until he sees one or something.
I mean, yeah, because for every person that they have like a different, what do you call it? Skeptic boundary thing. But just hearing that roar yourself, Snuffy, kind of convinced you. I mean, besides also the fact that I think you're constantly surrounded by people who are like Bigfoot researchers. So
I get so many testimonials, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you wouldn't know how many people come up and tell us their story of seeing a Bigfoot or some other creature.
Yeah, let's hear about a couple of those. And you guys are in such a hot, I mean, you guys are in a hot spot anyway. I mean, you just are right in the area where there's just a lot of reports and activity. So let's hear about a couple stories that you heard then from people coming up to your booth at some of these shows.
I think the best one we got that I have was we were down at an event. It's called the Bigfoot Campout, held by Eric Altman, and he had a bunch of people there. The Mountain Monsters were there. I believe Cliff was there. Maybe Jeff was there. I mean, there was just a bunch of people. Jeff Gerhardt was there. Just a bunch of big shot Bigfoot celebrities and researchers and stuff. And this lady who was just at my booth shopping and trying to buy a big mini Bigfoot, saw that I had a mini white one, and she said, "Oh, my neighbor, her son shot one with a crossbow last year, a white one." I'm like, "What do you mean? Where do you live?" And she said, "We live in Kersey," and I was like 10 miles from Ridgeway, my hometown. I'm like, "What more?" She just said it, let out a huge screech, and they, didn't find it or whatever. They didn't look or didn't find it, or I was just blown away.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, she was pretty nonchalant about it, huh?
Yeah, that's her neighbor just shot one with a bow or an arrow.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy.
That white one in Kersey has been seen. We heard another story or two about it. I can't remember, what it was now, but I remember hearing 2 or 3 stories about that same white one in Kersey.
Oh, so did you hear any stories after the one where it was shot? So maybe it's still moving around.
Yeah, but I don't know if it was.
It could have been before or after. We're not sure.
Before it was shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one story that I remember well, we were at a wine fest up in Kane, and we were like we always end up really close to the porta johns. I don't know. So this lady kept going to the bathroom, and then she would like look at the Sasquatches, and then she'd be like, "Ooh," and then she'd go to the bathroom, and then she'd leave, and then she'd come back. She came by like 4 or 5 times, and about the 5th time she was like, "I gotta tell you, I saw a Sasquatch." And we're like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then like she starts quivering and stuff. I mean, you could tell this lady really saw a Sasquatch. And what they saw, they were at their camp. I think, was it a trailer? I think their camp was a trailer out in the woods. And it was, do you remember what the name of the area was? It was like over in the Kinzu area where the Bigfoot show was at. And she said that it was a family of Bigfoots. The younger Bigfoot had thrown a rock and hit their trailer. Yeah, it was a trailer. They threw a rock and hit their trailer. And then like the mom and dad or whatever, the 2 adults were, back further. And her and her husband both saw the 3 of them. Yeah, it was a really cool story. And then he came back later and, told us, yes, it's true. I saw him too. But you could tell by the way she was like quivering as she was telling the story. The whole time she kept walking by, she was like all happy, drinking wine, blah, blah, blah. And then finally she felt confident enough with us, and probably with her wine in her body too, to tell us the story. But, you could still tell that she, just telling the story still scared her.
Yeah, it's amazing, even just for us when we're going to conferences, how, we hear a lot of stories, and then we also hear a lot of people who don't want to be on the podcast telling their story, because they're embarrassed or they're afraid people are going to make fun of them. So it's kind of sad.
Or they're worried about the government. We've had a couple of those where they think if they tell a story, the government's going to come back and get them. And it's interesting.
Right.
So we have a tough time getting witness stories on here. So it's nice to hear what you guys have heard for sure.
Yeah, we definitely get at least one witness story, if not 20, at every show we go to.
Right.
You guys should write a book.
We should write them all down. Right?
Besides all of the 1,000 of the other things that you guys do, because you guys are always doing cool, different stuff all the time. If you follow these guys on any of their social media outlets, they're just, what do you guys like sleep or, because Cheryl also has like a yoga studio, and you do more than just yoga there. What else do you do, Cheryl?
Yeah, the yoga and art studio. So I teach yoga classes there. I teach art classes there. And I also do all kinds of therapies, sound therapy, crystal therapy, like hypnosis therapy, where you could go back into your past or into a past life. We can even
You should go back to when Snuffy was young, when this girl said he saw the Bigfoot.
No, yeah.
Yep.
I keep trying to tell him that do hypnosis on him, but he's like, no. That's
I know why. He doesn't want you to find out some things.
No, I don't wanna, I have enough trouble dealing with the present.
So, what do you got just from the reports you've taken and kind of what just start with Bigfoot? What do you think they are? Whoever wants to go first. If you had to guess, I mean, no one really knows yet, but.
Well, I think they're real creatures. They're probably multi-dimensional. I know everybody woo-woo, but I'm the biggest woo-woo of the whole world, so whatever. I don't care. Go ahead and make fun of me.
We're not making fun of you, girl. We love you.
But I think all of a lot of the aliens are multi-dimensional too. So it's like we're in the 3D. We can't comprehend that stuff. We're not able to comprehend. They're more advanced than us. I even think the Bigfoot are more advanced than us.
No, that sounds like we just
talked
chatted
to somebody
with Henry Franzoni. We just had him on the last episode. So he just came out with a new book. He said it took him the last 15 years because it's his third book. And you guys know who Henry is.
Would love. Do you know Henry? You guys would love him. Oh my God, Cheryl! The episode before this one, watch it. You'll love Henry. But what was the name of Henry's book?
Failing in a Cooler Way: Why I Never Found Bigfoot.
I mean, just the title of the book.
Sounds good.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, so do you remember? And Henry, if you're watching, you'll love this. You remember drumming for Bigfoot? I don't know if you ever saw that. That was part of the documentary. There's a couple different titles. One of it, if you type in drumming for Bigfoot, that's Henry Franzoni.
He's also a drummer.
Yeah, and he's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's super cool.
And he's like he's been around for a long time. He worked with Four Horsemen and things like that. So he's been around for a little while.
Yeah.
So how about you, Snuffy? What do you think about the whole Bigfoot thing? What do you think they are?
I think it's just an animal that somehow is still around. That's it. That's all it is.
No, I mean,
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And if we had to have a bumper sticker version of what somebody thought, that would be it. It's just something that's stuck around.
Any crazy adaptations about it? It's just an animal that's, still surviving out in the woods.
You say that though, but earlier, you mentioned that when you do your carvings, it's based off witness reports, and there's some different characteristics. Right. So there's got to be something, maybe by region.
Have bullet head, pointy heads, and some have round heads. Some, it's just like looking at your head, and that pointy, Bigfoot head or that alien head I had up earlier with the cone head, and
right.
Everybody's got different shaped heads and shapes of their faces, and it's just like humans.
Yep.
It's a good answer.
You guys, I like how you each have your own, approach to it.
Yeah, we are not.
So Cheryl, you do believe that Sasquatch is a biological creature, but that one that can pass between dimensions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So she's just taking your idea, Snuffy, a little further. So this being hasn't been able to stick around, and also. And looks out over us, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So, do you guys hear other things out in the woods where you live on a normal basis that don't sound normal?
It
doesn't have to be Bigfoot, so.
Yeah, we had a visitor here from Australia or New Zealand or something, and she was sleeping in the house in a guest room, and this creature started making a really loud, weird noise, and I can't repeat it. I don't remember.
Wait, what creature? The Australian friend?
No, she heard creature.
Oh, she heard it.
No, all three of us heard it.
We all heard it outside.
Yeah.
But I remember yelling to her, I don't know what that is either. And, it didn't help her any, I don't think.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a mother and a young, whatever it was out there, and the noises they were making, because it was almost like 4 different noises that it was making, and then it repeated kind of like a mockingbird does. But they were strange noises that we never heard before, and we were just like, what?
And we haven't heard them since.
Never heard it again.
And it's just,
Did she pack up and leave the next day?
She did. Not because of that.
Oh.
It was
So what else? So you got anything else weird that you guys see? It doesn't have to be in where you live, but I mean, I know Cheryl, you were mentioning lights in the past. What else have you guys experienced out there in this crazy world that we live in?
Besides that stuff, that's it. No more creature sightings or,
One thing weird that I saw with my ex in our the little village that we lived in North Carolina, in Indian Trail and Lake Park, he wouldn't have believed me if I would have went home and told him, but there was this giant like 747 airplane, so low it was like almost on the top of the houses. And I'm like, do you see that? And he's like, yes, I see it. And if you'd have come home and told me you just saw that, I would have never believed you, because it was like so low. And it was just like, what was that? Why did that happen? How could that plane have been so low?
Wow, was it loud? Like, could you hear the jet engines?
Don't remember. I don't remember.
So what do you think it was, Cheryl?
I don't know.
Do you think it was a ghost plane?
I think it was out of dimension or something. I don't think it was supposed to be there, because it was so low. There's no way that plane would have been that low, even with the Charlotte Douglas Airport so close. The planes have never been that low, for where.
Do you know
live.
what kind of plane it was? Was it like a passenger plane, a military
Yeah,
plane?
it was definitely like a 747 or.
Oh, okay.
It was definitely a passenger plane.
That's crazy.
It is weird. You never know. Yeah, sure there'd be a lot of theories on what that could be and where
we
it came
have
from.
nothing cool that happens to
I
us here
know.
in Southern Delaware.
We gotta come hang out with you guys.
We're so boring. We don't have anything. We don't have ghosts. We don't have
Well, there's ghosts.
We
down
can
there.
come
We just
here
don't
then
have
instead.
experiences.
Yeah,
the
we have,
ghosts.
we've seen like we can see the stars like you wouldn't believe
You're
here.
so
And We've
lucky.
seen, like lights that went way too fast. That was definitely not something from, our world, at least not that we know of.
Right.
Who knows what the government's capable of, but that
Right.
they told us of, we don't, we don't have that capability.
Yeah, we can see some stars.
Yeah, and we're near some
I think it's because we're close to the ocean, so that helps. But it's definitely probably not how it is where you guys are, which is super
we can see the Milky Way and everything. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're so lucky.
Wow.
We're moving.
I know. We're coming up to you. So where are you guys going to be next? I mean, what's your plans for your for your travel, for your upcoming events that you're going to be attending?
We have a family reunion, and then we're doing that. Are we doing that one in Reynoldsville?
We're doing the
Bigfoot.
Jefferson Bigfoot and paranormal event, I believe, in Reynoldsville, PA. And this will be, I think, their second year. They had their first year was down in Punxsutawney, the weather capital of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Had a good turnout down there last year, so we're hoping to catch up with some friends there at that one. And
that's the end of August, and then in September we'll be doing a chainsaw event. Cook Forest chainsaw event. Cook Forest is a beautiful, beautiful place, not too far from us. And then there's some other event we're doing in August, and then in September, and then in October, the first weekend of October, we're doing Suzanne's event, right? The Bigfoot in Ohio.
we're supposed to go to an event with Matt Moneymaker up in Cleveland area, State Park.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. So that would be fun too.
Yeah, that would be.
So we're gonna offline. We'll have to catch up. You guys have to let us know exactly where you're going, and maybe we'll make the trip and meet you guys out at one of the events, the conferences.
Because I think we're leaving actually this Saturday for Ozark, Missouri.
We are.
We're gonna do like a little Bigfoot walk.
We're gonna get out where I don't want to say yet. So we're gonna. There's a couple people we may be getting out with that will. if it happens, we'll talk about it. But
right.
we're not gonna say.
I lived out there for 3 years.
Oh,
Wasn't it Bigfoot back then though?
Yeah, I've never been there.
We haven't been there
today. I mean, I've been to Missouri, but not there. So
yeah, I haven't. So it'll be cool.
Yeah, this is awesome. So what, if there's one thing do you want to see a Bigfoot again, Snuffy, if you think it was one, or
I would like to see a Bigfoot, for sure.
I mean, who wouldn't? You know,
well, some
Right,
people
well,
who've seen
I
him don't
mean-
want to see him again. You know,
right?
Yeah, I mean, they could change your life if, depending on what happens, you know.
Mm-hmm.
how
Yeah,
about you, Cheryl?
I want to see one walk across the road in front of me, but far enough away that I'm not going to hit it, or that I. So that's what I've been trying to manifest for the past 5 years. Like my trip home from Ridgeway from my yoga and art studio. It's 15 miles to our house, so it's like, and it's all forest, woods, right next to the river, right next to the Clarion River. So it's like, where's the Bigfoot? Where's the Bigfoot?
Yeah, that's what's funny, that people, there's a lot of folks that talk about, if it's imaginary, but a lot of folks like yourself, I remember chatting with Matt Pruitt about it. He said, well, if I could manifest and see something in my mind, I would have seen one by now. So
Yeah.
Right.
it doesn't, do you have a dash cam?
We don't.
You might want to get one for that one time you see one. You've got
Cheryl doesn't need to prove; she just wants to have it as an experience, right, girl?
That's
So when
right.
you pass on to the next dimension, you can be like, I saw Bigfoot.
I already know you.
Hey, you've been taking care of us. You've been looking over us.
know you.
you took that turkey out of Snuffy's yard.
That wasn't
I was a
Bigfoot.
bear, I know,
Okay.
but
Well, I don't know. Did you see it? Was it a bear?
Yeah.
Or maybe it was a Bigfoot.
maybe it wasn't a bear.
So hey guys, so why don't we tell everybody how they can follow you? So Cheryl, how can people follow you?
I have my own personal page on Facebook, Cheryl Oknefski, and also Cheryl Oknefski on Instagram. And I also have my Pieces of Me, and it's PEACES of me. That's my business. So I have Pieces of Me on Facebook. And I also have my online, my website is peacewithcheryl.com.
That's easy to remember.
And we'll put links in the show notes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
And I
then
just-
Snuffy, how can everybody follow you?
I'm just on Facebook at Snuffy Destefano, and you'll see a picture of me and Charlie Daniels there. I carved him a fiddle. Picture of me and him, and some of my albums in the background. I also have 5 CDs of my own original music that I produced, and all did everything myself, and make the CDs, the covers, and everything myself. Out of stock right now, so don't rush me any orders right now. Thank you.
And that was like another talent
I
of
know.
Snuffy's
He's
that we
got-
totally forgot.
No, he's got his own YouTube page.
Do you?
YouTube, I got 10 music videos and some carving
Oh
videos.
my God,
Awesome.
Snuffy.
So you need to chainsaw a wooden sleeve for your vinyl record.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
you go. See, I get 10% of that idea.
I have a YouTube page too. I believe it's Pieces of Me. It used to be Piece 625, but I think it's Pieces of Me now.
Okay.
Oh, that's
Also-
cool. So it matches with everything
I don't
else.
do that very much.
Well, I'll track everything down and put it in when the episode airs, so the audience can follow you guys.
Yeah, they have their links to click
Yeah.
on. Absolutely.
And feel free, if you guys want to hang out for a few minutes after we close this out. We're going to close it out for the audience, and then
Okay.
Okay.
and then if you guys want to hang out, we'll say bye to you personally.
Yeah.
All right, guys,
But
have a great night.
Good to see you.
We'll have a great night from the show.
Yeah, from the show. Thanks again. You guys are the best.
Thanks, guys.
Guys.
Bye.
Oh, it was just, I
Yeah.
just feel like we just had a
Yeah,
double
we had
date.
fun. We
That
love
was
them.
cool.
Yeah,
That was
they're
super
just
cool.
some of the coolest people that we.
They are.
Yeah, well, I guess probably maybe some of the first people we've met at a conference.
That we really liked.
Well, yeah,
I'm joking.
but that first night that we were hanging out, they were hanging out with us.
Yes,
So,
we love
yeah,
them.
they're
So this
great.
was like just having a night with friends, and we're so glad you joined us.
And please, check them out. They're so talented. I mean, with Snuffy, it's if you're not at an event scene, it's tough to order. You can't really
Yeah.
order online because you can't ship. I know he's done it before, and people have traveled across the country with his things. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're just so talented. Just make sure you stop by and say hi, give them some love, support. We just if we next time, I don't know about one time, we're going to bring a truck with us, so we could same thing with us. We can't haul back a big 6 foot or 8 foot.
Yeah, because we
Bigfoot.
don't already have enough Bigfoot stuff.
Unless Snuffy decides to come this way one time, and maybe we'll convince him to put something in the truck and bring it this way.
But hey, guys, you can order Cheryl's stuff online, and she has some beautiful stuff. So you'll have to check it out.
Yep. And Snuffy was kind enough to allow me to put some images in my book. So when the last conference we worked together, I was sending people over his way so he could autograph his photos. So one thing that was so interesting at one of the conferences, a gentleman came up to me, and so Bigfoot Influencers, I've got a chapter on each influencer, and then I have some other things blended in, like photos of Snuffy that he allowed me to post and some other things. And this gentleman came up with a sheet of paper that had everyone listed, and he was checking off who was going to be at the event so he could make sure he could get the signatures in the book. So if you bought a book, bring it with you to the conferences, because chances are there's somebody who was who's at the conference that was in the book. It's just kind of a cool momentum for you. So you can kind of just have it customized for you. So thank you guys again. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. You know how to find us, Untold Radio AM. Bigfoot
We're on Facebook.
Yep.
We're on Instagram.
Yep. Just
We're
type
on
in
X.
X is what it's called now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why did they change the name?
I don't know, but if you type in the Bigfoot Influencers, you can find us. So you guys have a wonderful night.
Bye, guys.
And,
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time.